Shelter in place, day 85, and depending on where you are, you may or may not still be in shelter in place. Here in California, we are coming out of it in slow, deliberate phases. My intention all along has been to continue these videos through shelter in place, and now we're kind of in this gray, weirdy area where it's not totally over, but it is starting to come to an end in this iteration for now. I've also struggled over the last couple of weeks that my voice is not the big voice in the room that needs to be heard at the moment. I get it. I'm okay with that. And awareness is everything right now. We are at the tipping point, I believe, of a lot of overdue change, both in the United States and throughout the world. Breakdown to breakthrough, as I have been saying to you guys all along. There is no going back to normal, nor should there be, because so many things are broken, not working, and we cannot sustain the old ways. We are going forward, taking the goodness of what has worked with us and shedding so many things that have weighed us down as a collective and are keeping us from coming into wholeness and together as human beings. Shift happens. And as hard as this is right now, I'm also excited and hopeful for a more equitable and just world. Divine feminine on the rise, babies, and divine masculine coming into balance. Hang in there, because the light always overcomes the dark. Lean back into the seat of your soul, but hold on to the seat of your pants, because I think we're still in for a bit of a wild ride. I'm going to wrap this up for now with a few final thoughts. And if we are back under shelter in place later this summer or into the fall, you have my word, I will be back with more, because I do have some additional ideas percolating. And hopefully within the next week or two, there will be a special bonus, which is a kid-friendly reel soon. So stay tuned for that. So what have we learned in the last few months? What has all of this taught us? What are we grateful for? What has cracked our asses up? What are our takeaways, tips, and techniques? First of all, has anybody seen my glasses? If you could see my eyeball right now, you would see my wink wink. The last few months have had a sense of disorientation, haven't they? It's been like being on a magic carpet ride after the rug has been pulled out from underneath us. And then we were catapulted into this new world and have kind of felt spun out. Things have felt a little scary and unsettled at times. But on the flip side, I actually see it as a doubling down on what we value in life in the face of adversity and getting our priorities in order. Spending time with family, connecting to those closest to us and finding a way to connect however we can. Focusing on projects, hobbies, and work that we enjoy, and in some cases working less because that is much needed. For me, one of the biggest takeaways is refocusing on just being present, savoring the small moments as they come, and showing up in vulnerability. Letting my freak flag fly, yo. So, here are a few of the things that I think we have gleaned over the last 3+ months. Keep toilet paper on hand at all times. Rule 511 of the pandemic: don't live on the edge and wait until you are down to your last roll of teepee. It's not worth it. That is high risk behavior, man, high risk. So try to keep your consumption down at the same time and keep it to the 2 square fold. Remember, there are always silver linings. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. This is a practice that should not go out with the times. One of the biggest upsides to this is getting people on the sanitation train. People around the world join in on the hygiene train. Join in. We've also learned, hopefully, to wash our chakras. It's equally as important to clean them on the reg. Is it worth it? Let me worship. I put my hands up, flip it, and reverse it. Do you ever get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and think, that cannot be accurate? For sure I have. This phase has eased me into a little bit more aging with grace, as well as a few more gray hairs around the roots. And I remind myself that personal maintenance is a personal journey. I probably, like you, have let some things go on this end. And on the other hand, I have discovered my absolutes, where I draw the line not to spiral down to a chaotic, dark space and lack of hygiene, where things are growing out of every hole. Just say no. Say no to the hole. Boundaries and limitations, motherflickers. Don't let it all go. Maintain some dignity and respect. I'm reminded that human beings are incredibly resourceful and can make anything out of just about anything. Socks, bras, underoos, maxi pads, lettuce, all converted into masks, both of the face and of the butt variety. Necessity is the mother of all invention. Goddess bless. Upside to wearing masks, other than providing more anonymity, is that you can mouth expletives all day long under that fucking mask and nobody will ever know. You can sing a little ditty too. Hashtag Hot Tips Rona 2020. I said hot tips, not hot tits. So I'm curious, how are you guys feeling about going to the grocery store these days? Is it a love or a hate relationship? Or a love-hate relationship? A friend of mine described it as grocery store zen, because everybody has their considerate hats on, not being rude or pushy, and are respecting personal space. Of course, there is always that one a-hole who doesn't give a crap and is reaching over you to get a jar on the top shelf. Happened to me. Clearly not understanding the concept of social distancing. What is 6 feet anyway, bitches? Or you could run into Karen. Now, consideration goes a long way, Karen. You do not have to call the manager. Just get your shift together. Another part of the moral of this ongoing story is don't touch things that are not yours. It's not yours. Don't cough or sneeze without covering your mouth. It's not the right thing to do. Do the dab at a minimum. Emotions is energy in motion. So feel your feelings. When the shit hits the fan, don't hold it all in, but keep your fart filter handy just in case. It's time to put your pants back on, period, because we going out. Orange is really not the new black, and it's not always your friend. Don't listen to people in leadership positions who dye their hair bright orange, or their skin for that matter, ever, 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 ever. Just don't do it. It's a beacon that is reflective of bad decision-making and judgment from the get-go. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? We've done a pretty good job, I would say, of being social with distancing. So keep up your virtual happy hours and Zoom, Zoom, Zoom when you can. All I gotta do is a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. It is always 5 o'clock somewhere. Shaking your ass is always in style and always on time. DIY. Do it yourself. Theme of the year, my friends. Props to all of you out there who have done shit you would have never done in a million years if it wasn't for shelter in place. Holla to those of you who have sewn masks and baked bread and become those totally domesticated bitches through all of this. Finishing up those pesky household tasks and projects. I salute you and your badassery. Keep it up. You can do it. Get your polarity in check and your soul mission online. Light that inner fire because it is time to glow up. Remember, hindsight is always 20/20. Did you catch that? The lessons are rich, deep, and nuggety. There are no mistakes. We're all here on time. And I believe that history will bear down that this is a time of necessary and pivotal change on so many levels. So we have to ride this wave, find the joy where we can, speak up for justice when we can, do what you gotta do. I posted an opinion piece from the New York Times today written by Michelle Alexander, and I wanted to read her last paragraph in closing today because it really touched me and I felt like it got to the heart of the matter of so many things that are going on right now. Our only hope for our collective liberation is a politics of deep solidarity rooted in love. In recent days, we've seen what it looks like when people of all races, ethnicities, genders, and backgrounds rise up together, standing in solidarity for justice, protesting, marching, and singing together, even as SWAT teams and tanks roll in. We've seen our faces in another American mirror, a reflection of the best of who we are and what we can become. These images may not have dominated the media coverage, but I have glimpsed in a foggy mirror scenes of a beautiful, courageous nation that is struggling to be born. Whew. Just remember, none of us are free until we are all free. We have a lot to overcome and shift right now, but we can do it. I have faith and I have hope, and I hope that you do too. So just know I am sending you a big air hug, a reminder to always keep your head up and your tits up, and of course, lots of love, love, love. Remember, love is always the way, and Black lives always matter.